Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to my channel and to Scraptember with the Scrappy Sisters and Laura and 30 Days of Sketches with Christy. And today's prompt, 6x6 paper pad. And this is the sketch I'll be using today. And I stick pretty close to it, pretty close. There's a little bit of variation there though. And I had a whole nother picture and collection out to do the layout. Then thought, oh, I better look at the prompt. Well, I did not have no 6x6 paper pad in that collection, so it got set aside for another sketch. I'm pointing out there a watermark there. I'd ordered some cardstock, and it rained quite a bit here, and although it was wrapped in plastic, my cardstock got wet, and the top papers I threw away except for very little because it was literally ruined. But some of the others, I just decided that when I use them, I'll either use them for die cuts or in this case, cover the little spot up. And yeah, this worked. The collection I'm using is from Echo Park and it's called, uh, oh my goodness, I forgot. Spring Garden, I think that's what it is. And I do have two paper pads, although there is paper missing from both. And it has lots of pinks, and there it has greens too, which I love. But since the girls have pink shirts on, I decided that I would use the pink that's in the layout. And one of my decisions I'm still leery about. Every time I look at it, I think, oh, I should have gone with my first thought and have the green and white background. But no, I went with the floral. I did do some fussy cutting and die cutting ahead of time for this layout, and I used a 6x6 paper pad, so they are smaller pieces. Well, a couple are a pretty good size because yeah, they took up almost the whole space in the middle. I'm using my Creative Memories circle cutter, and I'm using the largest one, but the smallest cutter. And yeah, it takes up almost that whole 6 inches. And that's the side I'm going to use. I really wanted to use the other side. And I think I still do, but I stitched it down. So there was no change in my mind once I stitched it down. And you've seen the other side. It's not quite as busy. It has lots of stuff on it, little tiny bits of green leaf. But this side has pink and green and a greenish yellow and black. It has a lot of colors. And although the stitching don't show up super well in the video, it shows up pretty good in the layout. It's kind of subtle though, but it does show up good in the texture and everything. And I only stitched where I thought might be showing. If I didn't think the stitches would show anyway, I did not stitch there. And I really needed about another 2 stitches on this once I put it down, but I'm just going to cover them up instead of pulling out my needle and thread again. I'm cutting the strips different sizes, and while I was cutting, I decided to go ahead and get my scallop punches out, and I pulled 2 out, but then once I used the one, just the regular scallop, I decided that I'd leave the other one for this layout. I'd not use it, save it for another layout. Because goodness knows we got a lot of layouts to pick from this month. And Christy really picked some good sketches. I should have probably done 3 with the scallop, but I only did 2. Looking at it now, I'm thinking I could have gone 3, but yeah, I'm only going to have 2 on there. And I am marking off where my photo is, even though I am going to have a spot that you might think I need to fill in, but I have a plan for that. I didn't pay attention when I was matting the photo, but Reagan's shirt's got like a pretty bright yellow down there at the bottom, so I just decided to cover it up. And so I won't have to have a scalloped edge right there at the bottom, because I think that's what goes at the bottom is the scalloped edge one, the green one. And the photo I'm scrapping is just a everyday moment. I got off work and I thought I'd stop by the girls' house and tell them I'd be picking them up the next night for them to spend the weekend. And yeah, I said, let me take a picture of you before I left. So this is how they pose. So yeah, just an everyday moment. I did use my um, oh, chicken wire dye. And I cut it out in gray instead of using my metallic because I wanted it a little more subtle. And I'm cutting it apart. I'm going to put it in 3 different places on the layout, one on each side of the photo and then one up there in that left-hand corner. I'm not done with it yet. The title is supposed to go up there, but I am going to actually put my title down there next to the photo on the floral part. So the upper left-hand corner will technically kind of sort of be a subtitle. I am going to put XOXO up there since they are hugging each other. This, uh, I guess, label that I am fixing right now, I'm putting foam tape on is what I'm going to cover up the yellow in her shirt. And it says love grows here. And I wanted it a little bit bigger. I laid it on there and it wasn't quite big enough to do what I wanted it to. So I went ahead and matted it in the green. And see how big that one flower is? That one was right in the middle of this 6x4. And then I have another one there I cut out that's a little bit smaller, not a whole lot, off the same paper. And then I cut some of the ones, of course, because they were right there where I cut these out. That was along the edge that I'm just going to try to tuck under. Now that one greenery that is a little bit bigger than the other one, I don't think I've used the other one yet anyway, but the one I'm using right now on the layout, it was free with my order from Gina Marie Designs. So I guess it's a Gina Marie dye, and I'm liking it pretty good. The way it's made, I can kind of clip it in the middle and make 2 dies, or even, one leaf at a time if I need just a leaf somewhere. But yeah, I can use the top end and the bottom end, and it looks pretty much like it's supposed to be that way once I clip them apart. But while I'm adding different things to the layout, I want to mention that down there below, you will find loads, I mean loads of inspiration. There will be links to the Scrappy Sisters, Katie and Jess's channel, and then there will be a link for Laura Albert's channel, and of course there'll be a link for Christy's channel, and a host of others. I mean, a lot. Some will be using the prompt only, some will be using the prompt in the sketch, and some will be using just the sketch only, whichever one they decide to use. And not everybody will be doing it every single day. There is one person that is featured on the Scraptember side that you picked the day and signed up for it. So mine's the 23rd. I'll be featured on the 23rd. But yeah, loads and loads of inspiration. And like I said, loads of channel links down there below. And you can play along too. And you can post them in the Scraptember group on Facebook, or you can post them in Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. I think that's what it's called. I think if you key that in, it'll probably pop up. And surely I have the link down there below. I might have double checked that. I have been copying and pasting the link, and yeah, I might have to double check that. But if it's not, it will be. It will be. I am not sure what I was doing there. That looked pretty blue. Oh, I was showing the dyes I was going to use. And I'm using the Maggie Holmes Love This. And I'm doing it a double layer. The darker one on the bottom, since it's going on that busy floral. When I first put it there, I thought I'd do the title in white. And the more I looked at the layout, the more I decided, no, I wanted to go ahead and do it in the light and the dark pink instead. Don't get me wrong, the white would have looked good because there is white on the layout in several places. But I was just wanting the pink and the darker pink. mostly because their shirts are a lighter pink and a darker pink. And I couldn't resist going ahead and putting a word up there at the top since, it does have that on the original layout. And I will forget about the hearts. I'm going to end up putting one on there, but I did forget about them. But I'm put the XOXO because they are hugging, and that's hugs and kisses. And I put my title on foam tape also. I'm going to do the XOXO straight down on the paper because it's a little bit on the thinner side, and it'd be harder to put the foam tape on there. So I'm first putting down some of the chicken wire dye, and then I'm going to add some greenery, a rose, maybe two, I can't remember. Well, I just looked, and it is two, a larger one and a smaller one. I had my layout laying over here at the side. I brought it over where I could see it. I stopped the video just in case there was something else I can't remember. And that bottom part down there, I just kept thinking it looked kind of on the blank side, so it will be filled in underneath the Love Grows Here. And I'm just going to put some flowers and greenery, of course, down there. And that littler die, that smaller one, littler, the smaller die cut, it come in a set of 3, and they all look like little bushes coming up out of the ground before they turn into trees, but that kind. I remember many years ago planting a tree in the yard, and I dug out an old tire that was behind the shed and put it there around the tree so that, it wouldn't get ran over with the lawnmower or something like that. Well, while I was at work the very next day, they were all doing yard work. I come home and my tree's gone and the tire. And I said, how can you not know that that was there on purpose? Well, it just looked like it was laying there and we were wondering why. Yeah, they cut it down. They didn't even pull it up by the roots or I would have put it back. They cut it down. Yeah, very disappointing. Yeah, because now that it's many, many years later, I could probably be harvesting some of the pecans off of it. But I never went ahead and got another one, so no pecans. Um, oh, I did not have enough flowers fussy cut. I had a couple of more of the half ones, but I needed something a little bit bigger, so I pulled out one that had a couple of flowers on there because, yeah, 2 flowers is what I needed. And I thought, well, it'll be less fussy cutting if I don't go for the trees, and I do have enough greenery. So I went ahead and basically just cut the flower. I think I left a couple of tiny leaves on one of them, but I didn't do all the extra ones. And I don't think I mentioned it, but this sketch, so cute. It's by Laura Whitaker, and she does a lot of sketches. Well, she used to do a lot of sketches. And she does have a website, Scrap Around the Clock, I think it is, .blogspot.com. But I think if you just Google Laura Whitaker, you'll find it on the list because, yeah, she's made a lot of sketches. I finally did remember the hearts, and instead of doing 3, though, I decided to do 1, mostly because where I would have put it up there by the XOXO, I already put a rose, and going with the odd numbers, I decided to just only use 1. It will take me a second. Well, it did take me a second to figure out where I wanted to put it, but yeah, that down in that one cluster is where it's going to end up staying. And since I layered my title slash subtitle too, in the light and dark pink, I went ahead and layered it also. I grabbed my Spiegelmom Scraps Green Acres, which is pretty old, sequins, and I'm going to scatter them around the layout, and I think that's all I end up doing, and we'll be done with the layout. Yeah, quicker than I thought it would be. You all are probably thinking, all right, it's right around the 15-minute thing. Oh, sorry, I cut out as much as I could. I did take a couple of stickers, that hat and that boot, just because I like them so well. and put them on white cardstock and added them tucked in a couple of places by the photo. But that's it. That's my layout. And I did have fun creating it, even though I'm still kind of wishy-washy about that floral behind love this. And see, the one I would, the other side of it was that white with the little green leaves and branches. And yeah, it would have looked good too. Uh, there's the love grows here. And yeah, it's covering up all the stuff I wanted it to cover up. So it did its job. And it looks good there too. I didn't put a couple of stickers up there at the top. It's happy little moments and life is beautiful. And I think, oh, and smiles is the other sticker that I put on here. But if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those who already are, thank you so much. But if you decide to use a sketch, you can post in the two groups on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, I would love to see your take on the sketch. But have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.